Hello and welcome to my channel, I Win to Lose Gaming. So the 5.0 live stream just wrapped up, and here are actually 3 insane changes coming in version 5.0. Now, it's been a long time since I've been this excited about, actually this is the most excited I have been about a Genshin Impact patch to date. And obviously I've been playing this game since the game's release, and this really shows that they are finally listening to the player base. Now, could this be because of the additional competition that we've been seeing? Perhaps, but regardless, it is incredible to see them finally implement some of the longest asked for changes and things that we have been asking for as a community for such a long time. And one of these has been something I've been saying for literal years, and a couple of these actually kind of blew my mind. I was not expecting them. So these are the 3 biggest changes in Genshin Impact 5.0, of course, besides the entire new region and all the characters, blah, blah, blah. But these 3 things are what really, in my opinion, set this whole patch apart and shows us that they are finally listening to us. And the first one is starting with the new custom artifact item, the Sanctifying Elixir. Now, you're going to have to forgive me a bit. We are going to be playing in Premiere Pro as we kind of scrub through parts of the live stream. And right here, we can see this new item called the Artifact Transmuter. And what is crazy about this is that this lets us select a main stat as well as 2 substats. And look at this on the left. I'm assuming that every single artifact, including the new artifact sets, the Obsidian Codex and the Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City, will both be available immediately, as well as obviously all the previous artifact sets in the entire game. So this is absolutely insane, because even me as a whale who's been max refresh, I haven't been max refreshing as much lately, but who's been max refreshing for years, I'm still missing a lot of great elemental goblets, and that is absolutely insane. But this will immediately give you a potentially insane elemental goblet, or at the very least one with a double crit on an element that you want. As we can see here, they are choosing the Hydro damage bonus with double crit. Absolutely beautiful. And you will be able to get these super rare double crit goblets, and almost certainly the double crit goblets are going to be the ones that you want to go for, because these have the lowest drop rates. You know, if you want my personal advice, I would farm the domain for about as long as you can personally tolerate farming the domain, and then consider using these in order to, you know, get your double crits out on the goblets that you need. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like we are able to get one every, you know, potentially whatever this cycle ends up being. We can see here that there is a cycle for artifact sacrifice in order to sacrifice enough artifacts to get this item. So we're going to be time gated on it. However, depending on how long this cycle is, we could end up with quite a lot of these in order to actually, you know, for it to be an incredibly valuable resource. And not only that, but it looks like we're going to be able to find at least one in the Natlan open world right here. And they mentioned this in the battle pass at level 26 right here. We can see that. And as well as finally, they're talking about the anniversary mail rewards. So they're going to include one of these elixirs in the mail. So right off the bat, that is 4 that we can obtain. Okay, 3 for free to plays that don't get the battle pass, and 4 for the people that do get the battle pass, assuming there's only 1 in the battle pass. Perhaps there's more. I'm going to assume there's 1. So right off the bat, we are able to get 4 double crit elemental goblets, which is absolutely crazy. Now, the only thing I think that they should add to the artifact system next, in my opinion, are artifact loadouts. But hey, this is already more than I personally asked for or expected. Frankly, maybe we've been Stockholm Syndrome for a while, so we don't expect too much from them. But they absolutely went hog wild this patch, starting with this one. This change here is absolutely huge. Okay, now me as a whale, that artifact selector was my personal most anticipated change, but there are 2 additional changes that really shows a big shift in Genshin Impact. And let me drag this next clip over. This one is the banner chances. So it looks like there's going to be this new summon animation. As we can see, it looks different. We can see here that there's like an intertwined fate playing just like that. And let's go through the animation again one more time. Look at that. So you see the shiny intertwined fate, and that means that you have essentially guaranteed won the 50-50. So this is what they're talking about now. We don't know the exact rates for the banner. Ultimately, what this is this is improving the chances of a 50-50 from a 50-50 to, I don't know, could be 60-40, could be 75, could be 90-10. I mean, if I had to guess, it's probably somewhere between 50 and 75%. So it's no longer just going to be a simple 50-50. It's likely going to be something closer akin to somewhere between, again, 50 and 75%. But who knows? We're going to have to wait and see exactly what the chances are. But this just means that it will be absolutely a lot easier to get the characters that you actually want, or the featured characters. And it'd actually be kind of funny because it'll make the standard banner characters a bit harder to get as well. But they added something else to remedy that, although not because of this, just, you know, because they finally are starting to listen to the feedback about the anniversary awards. And oh my gosh, the last couple of years of anniversary awards have been a major, well, you know, poo show is the PG way to say it. So next thing is, if we look at this, we have the weapon banner change as well. And this is absolutely huge. Now, when you click on the epitomized path, there is just one fate point. So this means that if you lose the weapon one time, the next weapon will be guaranteed. Okay, so we don't see whether or not this fate point will carry over to the next banner, but at the very least, this reduces the number of pulls required on the weapon banner. Well, basically required, the hard pity is 80, but the soft pity is essentially 70, down to about 140 pulls from the colossal 210 pulls. So that makes the weapon banner significantly lower risk, higher reward in that sense to pull on. Now, of course, for most players, they prefer characters over weapons, and Genshin Impact tends to have pretty good free-to-play friendly weapons to choose from, but still, this is absolutely a great change, and they are going to make it a lot cheaper for people to get the characters that they want. And this is no surprise, we literally have so many games competing with Genshin Impact now. We have HoYoverse's own game, Honkai Star Rail. We have Wuthering Waves. We have Zenless Zone Zero, another HoYoverse game, also competing with Genshin Impact now. So it makes sense for Genshin Impact to finally step up and become much more generous with its gacha systems. And this actually, funnily enough, makes me not want to pull on the current banner and wail out Emily, because I'm going to wait until her rerun to save a bunch of money on doing this like so. Now, my only complaint is that we didn't know this sooner to actually start stashing up our resources for much more valuable banners. But hey, we can't I can't complain about that. This is just a win-win for everybody involved. Now, the final big kahuna, absolutely crazy news is, after all the turmoil via the anniversary awards, they are finally stepping up. They are finally giving us something that I've been asking for years, which is a standard banner character selector. And we can see here, right here, this event is available for a limited time during version 5.0, so be sure to log in. I don't know exactly when it is. They did not say, at least I didn't catch it if they said it, but we're just going to be able to select one of these standard banner characters. And, you know, for whales like me, I have all of them at Constellation 6, so for me, it's just literally going to be 25 star glitter or whatever. However, for the rest of you, this is incredible, because this will allow you to finally get that character that's been evading you for such a long time. Like if Mona's your favorite character, you just haven't gotten her, this is the time to get her. And yeah, so now, another huge detail about this is that they confirmed that they are going to be adding additional characters into the standard banner pool. And they also said future anniversaries will include a standard banner selector. So this means that we could see various characters actually be completely selectable in the future with future anniversaries. Absolutely crazy, but this of course won't apply until, well, you know, another year from now with their next anniversary. I guess I'll quickly talk about each character because, heck, we're in the groove of things. So we have our standard banner roster. Let me actually turn down Genshin Impact. Sorry guys, this video, I'm so excited. I just want to get this video out to you guys. Minimal editing, so whatever. So we have Keqing, Qiqi, Jean, Mona, and Diluc, the original 5-star characters. You guys should know what they all do, but if you want a decent aggravate DPS, Keqing is actually a pretty solid character. Sadly, Qiqi's not a character who I can really recommend in any circumstance right now, but hey, maybe she'll have a glow up. Unless you want her envisaged echoes with the little ghosties chasing her. Jean is right now currently let me bring up this chart for you guys. I got this chart right here. Jean is currently overall one of the more used standard banner 5 stars ever since the release of Fiorina. If you need a good Anemo healer to pair with Fiorina and you don't have Jean, Jean is your girl. Also, Jean is reasonable, although I would argue no longer best in slot for Xiao teams. If you are at Constellation 3 and you want Constellation 4, this is also pretty impactful. So there is that to consider. Next, we have Mona. Now, unfortunately, Mona doesn't really have a team, in my opinion, where she's the best in slot for any particular team, but she is, of course, still always going to be fairly consistent usage, all things considered, although she definitely tanked when Fiorina was introduced into the game. I believe this is roughly when Fiorina came out, which makes perfect sense. You know, they have a lot of overlapping roles, but hey, Mona, great nuke damage, enhancer, bonus damage. You know the drill when it comes to Mona. I don't need to tell you that much about her. Next, we have Diluc, who did get a glow up with Shen Yun's release, but as you can see, it didn't really help his usage rate much. This is his graph line. Diluc, now he has kind of a role with the plunge team with Shen Yun, so if he's a character that you want, well, hey, now you can get him guaranteed. And up next, we have Tignari, who in my opinion is the best standard banner character, at the very least from a DPS perspective. And Tignari, you can see, actually has really high usage once I believe the Aeon Blight Drake or other aggravate friendly enemies appear in Abyss 12, because he absolutely destroys those types of enemies. So yeah, you're going to see him rise when that's the case. Great great spread DPS character in Tignari. And up next we have Dea. Now Dea, unfortunately, is Dea. However, if we take a look at her, we can see that her Constellation 1 makes her a slightly better DPS character, but she also provides some utility with off-field pyro application, which can also be used with the new character Emily as well. So we'll have to see if perhaps she ages a little bit better in the future, but for now, you know, Dea is Dea. So yeah. So let me know down in the comments below which of these changes and what other changes in 5.0 you are most excited for. And what is absolutely crazy about this live stream is that you could literally make 20 individual videos on this, because there's way too much to talk about. I've already made this one video just on these 3 small things. Well, actually, these are the 3 biggest things in my opinion, which is why I'm making this video, to tell you the 3 biggest things in my opinion. So yeah, Artifact Selector, absolutely huge. I am so excited for that, to get some great main stat, or at the very least, you know, double crit main stat. How the substats roll, that's up to fate, but at the very least, you can mitigate an absolutely ungodly amount of RNG to just get the double crit goblet that you need for the set that you need to. That is what makes it absolutely even more crazy. And of course, cheaper pulls in general as a whole, which is absolutely huge. And finally, the 5-star character selector for our 4th anniversary. I'm excited to get back and just no-life this game yet again. Genshin Impact is my main game. I absolutely love this game, and I will play it until it dies or I die, whichever comes first. To Celestia and beyond, my friends. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Win to Lose, signing out.